Good evening. It's Cindy Fodor here with Stamp the Love, and it's Make It Monday, and I'm a minute early, but I'm so excited to see you. I missed you guys last week. Hopefully you missed me too, but I hope that you had a wonderful Christmas, and the holiday season isn't over. Of course, we have New Year's coming up in 2 days, so there's still lots of fun to be had, right? Let me just pop on here and give you guys a chance to come on. So I understand if you cannot join us because you're busy still with holiday preparations and stuff. Get my phone on here. Ooh, that's a tight fit. Okay, normally it fits in there. I'm not sure. I must be weak today. All right, well, it'll fit down there and I'll just have to look down at it. But I've been stamping since Christmas, since after Christmas, but I have a lot to get ready for the upcoming month, and so no time to laze around. Fortunately, I have been well, although a lot of my family has been sick, so I thank God that I've been able to stay well. I think after our Christmas at the mountains with my family, quite a few of them got like a stomach bug. And then some, I think, had some colds too. So yeah, Joel's got a cold thing going on and a stomach thing going on. And so, so far so good. But yeah, too much to do. Hi, Linda. Welcome. So, I showed you the last time I was live, I showed you a few of my Christmas cards. I have a stack here and I'll probably do half of them tonight and maybe half next week, just so that I don't overwhelm you because I have other stuff to show you. So this is our mini catalog, and I wanted to just bring that in and remind you that that's starting very soon. So we're going to do some sneak peeking tonight. So we'll just take a look at, well, we can't look inside of it, but hopefully you got yours. I just wanted to check if you are a customer of mine. I wanted to make sure that you got yours because I sent them out. Some of them got sent like right before Christmas. So they should still be, they should have been there by Saturday, possibly today. But look for that in the next day or two. If you don't get one, let me know and I will make sure that you do. If you are on my team or a demonstrator, you were able to get a free one when you placed your pre-order. If you didn't do your pre-order yet, that's okay. You'll get your free one whenever you place your order in January. So you'll still get that. And it's always nice to have it in hand, isn't it? And I'll be sending an email out shortly about my classes for January. And in that, I will have a link to the online exclusives that are coming out in January as well, because there's some really good stuff coming out. Hi, Sylvia. Thank you. Happy New Year to you. I hope your hubby is doing okay. Wanted to check in with you. Forgot to do that today. Sorry. Okay, so let's go with the cards. Let me get this out of the way. All right, so this one was from Barbara, and she delivered it while I was gone with an amaryllis, a real live amaryllis that's supposed to look just like this. So I've been watching it every day. It's supposed to bloom in a few days, I think. So I'll be excited about that. But what a beautiful card. This one is from Sheila, who's a demonstrator. I believe she's still a demonstrator. This one is from Diana, and love this technique with tinfoil and clear in our window sheets. That's an old stamp set. This one, how beautiful and shiny, is from one of my teammates, Lori. This one is from our beautiful paper, I believe last year, was from a friend and customer, Sue. I'm laying that where my head is. That's not helpful, is it? This one, I think, is pretty old, a pretty old design, but I really wanted to show you this because this card is just stunning. This is from Cheri. Oh, lots of shimmer, lots of glitter. This one with our beautiful paper is from Claudine. Thank you. And this one, a little special fold. And I can't remember who it is. I think it might be from Carol, but somebody did it so that I could reuse it. And I apologize with your name not in there. I don't remember. And this one was from one of our kits. And this is from Sylvia. And this is from one of my retreat friends with my stamp set. And this isn't a Christmas card, but it's so pretty. I just had to show it to you. And it was just a thank you note from one of my downline. Okay, that's all I'm going to do tonight because I have lots more to show you. All right. Would you ladies like to see... I have to remember where to put these so I remember which ones I showed you and which I didn't. Well, I did a swap, so I had to have a swap in the week before Christmas, and I don't have my samples back yet, the ones that I'm getting back. I don't have those yet, but I thought maybe you would like to see what I did for my swap. I had to do 21 of these, so I was working on these over our mountain retreat getaway with my family. And I used the new bug set. I can't remember what it's called, but the paper's just so cute. And then I did that special fold that I just showed you. The special fold is on my tutorial for January. I'm sorry, for December. So some of you got this already, the tutorial on how to do this. However, I had to change this one up because when I put this paper inside of here with this adorable designer paper, when I put this cardstock in here, solid, I was like, that's covering up way too much of what's happening with this paper. So I decided to cut out inside of here as well as in here. And I put window sheets behind these little guys so that you could see everything that's going on when you open this up. So I just thought you would like to see that. And again, that tutorial on how to do this whole fold thing is in our December Creative Stamping Collective. If you don't purchase from me, but you want to get it, it's $15 for the tutorial, and you can get that as just by itself if you'd like. It contains 12 different tutorials. Each of them have a video with them. So, all right. Do you want to see what I have for you tonight? Excuse me. All right, so this is the card that I want to do for you tonight. I was inspired by Cheri Stojkovich, who is a demonstrator that was introduced to me by a customer of mine who followed her. And so I actually got to meet her at a convention, and I was like, oh my goodness, like I have a customer who loves your work. And so I am copying, changing, you know how you do. You see something and you change it up a little bit. But it's using our Nature Walk paper, which I've already introduced to you before, as one of my favorites that's coming out, just because of the words and the just neutral patterns that we so need so many times, right? So we're going to be using that, and I'm also using the bundle that coordinates with it, called Nature Symphony. So these are the dies, and these are the stamps. Going to be using a lot of both of those, or several of both of those. And I also decided to pull in the streak dots because it coordinates with another item that I'm also using, and that's our earthen toned metallic paper that seems to have stayed. Like a lot of stuff went last chance. I have a whole box of stuff, excuse me, a whole box of stuff that I pulled off my shelf that is on last chance right now. It's going to be retired. But this metallic paper was not one of them, I'm very happy to say, because does that not just add a dimension to this card? And that and the diagonal cut are my big changes to the card. And I'm also going to be pulling in something that is old that we had before, and I think got rid of mine or lost mine, and somebody had it in their yard sale stuff, I believe. And so I bought it back because I remembered how much fun it was. And I'll show you some alternate ways to get your, I don't know what, I've got a piece of wire under here or something. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's pull out all of our goodies here. I'm using Pretty Peacock and Pecan Pie. They go so nice together. And very vanilla for my card base. So let's go ahead and get our card base finished. All right, I'm going to pull out some scrap paper here to stamp on. All right, I'm going to just create a little bit of a background to the left that's going to be showing. And I'm using this little stamp. I probably should put this on here straight. You people probably think I'm totally crazy. I don't often worry about putting things on straight. I'd rather, I don't know, not be bothered. So I'm going to stamp once, and then I'm going to stamp off this for the second one. So I will stamp once and then stamp off for the one in between. And I'm going to stamp off this little edge that didn't get stamped off because it went off the card. All right, there we go. Isn't that cute? Makes a nice little pattern. And while we're doing that, I cut this out of one of the sets that we had, and I did not bring that in here. I want to tell you that it looks like they retired the stamps that went with this, and they kept the dies. I believe that's what I saw. I saw that, at least it looked like that on a couple things. I'm going to stamp this off. I'm going to try to stamp this straighter than I did on my sample. And I'm going to stamp it twice. I want it really light because I want my greeting to go on there. All right, I just wanted to close that up if we're finished with that. All right, now for our layering, I chose this paper because it looks the closest to what her design was. And I kept my my cutout piece when I cut these beautiful leaves out. And if you don't think you need this set, I can promise you need it just for this die, if nothing else. Isn't that the most beautiful leaf? It has so much dimension to it. And check out this wooden piece that we're going to use as well. That's in there as well. So yeah, I think you'll need it. So I'm going to use this mask, and I'm just going to create a sponge background in this leaf pattern. So let me grab my brush and my ink here. The only tricky part of this is that these little pieces in here are very loose. So it takes a bit of finagling to get this to happen. The top part here is pretty much fine because there's not a lot of moving parts up here. I did notice that I needed to get quite a bit of ink on there to make that show up. And she might have done hers in navy or a darker color. I'm not sure. But I have to say I did choose in the paper, the lighter parts of the paper, because all of these designs have different variations throughout the sheet. So it makes it a little hard to do a multiple card class with them just because they're all going to look so different. So you notice I'm trying to hold this in place, and I'm going to have ink all over my fingers, which is okay. I already washed it off from the last time, from when I did the sample. And this in here is pretty much going to be covered up, so I'm not too worried if that gets a little bit messed up. But I do want to make sure that these outlying designs are pretty strong. Can you see that? Isn't that cool? Actually, it looks better on camera than it does with the light on it. Okay, so we're finished with that. Actually, we're not finished with that. The other thing that I did was I left this on here, and I put this back in just because when I was doing it on my table, I had thrown away my scrap paper last night when I finished designing other cards. And there's this piece going here. So I didn't have scrap paper down, and I didn't want to make a mess on my table, so I did it right on top of here. And oh, did I? Yeah, I brought early espresso. Find the right spot to stick this in, and just give it a little squirt. I'm just checking it. I think I have it in a little bit too far. It's going to be a little hard for you to see it probably. And then I'm going to just lift this up and do a little bit on here. And also on the edge of here as well. Okay. So now we can start putting that together. You just want to be a little careful where these splatters are because they have to take some time to dry. Or they will smear. Let's go ahead and, while that dries a little bit, let's do, hi Barbara and Donna, let's do some stamping of our greeting. And again, I'm going to try to get this straight. This could be just a tad darker. I thought about embossing this on here, but for time's sake. Oh, I do need this for one more thing. I almost forgot. I did add at the bottom here, and I'm not sure with this pattern that's down here if we're going to really see it, but the big stamp that comes with this set, again, it's called Nature's, where did I lay that? Nature's Symphony, I believe. Is that what I said? Yeah, Nature's Symphony. So thank you all for stopping by on your busy week. Just going to pop some of these down here at the bottom. All right. Now, I want to tell you before I start putting this together, I left this at 6 inches. I had cut it, if you remember back when I was talking about how to get your creative mojo back, cutting up your designer paper was one of my tips. And I want to tell you, every time that I have gone to create and know that I've got to get some stuff done, I go to those pieces that I cut, and they really do inspire me. So I am not blowing smoke here, ladies. It really does work. So this was one that was a 4x6. I did trim a little bit off the side here because I know it's going to be a little bit too big, but I need those 6 inches because I'm turning this on an angle. So I need that extra length in order to get to cover. So I'm going to just go ahead and glue that in place. I'm going to probably add a little extra because I'm not sure where it's going to be sticking and where it's not. And just trying to see, when I tilt it more, that little edge shows there. So I got to make sure I come down here a little bit further. And I don't want to lose too much of my design over here. So I might trim a little bit off of here. I was afraid to trim it too much because I didn't want to make it too short, but I might take another 1/4 of an inch off of there. Whoops. almost got sticky on there, so I think we'll be okay. Let me get this mess of scrap paper out here. Hi, Melissa. Welcome. All right, so let me look again. Let's scoot this over here a little bit and get that on a nice angle, but we got to make sure that that edge stays covered, so I think we're good there. The next piece that I'm going to put on is this little strip from the same set, and that's going to go right next to it here, and just make sure I'm up high enough so that I cover that top part. And then last but not least is this little strip, which was just a scrap that was in my bag. And I'm just going to use liquid glue to stick that on there. And that's just going to butt up against my blue designer paper here, my Pretty Peacock. All right, let's trim that baby up. I'm just going to come back here and trim off everything that's over the edge. So when you're using designer paper, it's not too wasteful to do this, because you usually have that extra inch, or at least 3/4 of an inch of room to spare when you're doing a regular size card. So it doesn't feel so wasteful. So do any of you still have big celebrations the rest of this week? I would love to hear what you have planned. We were planning to have a family gathering on New Year's. We always do that. We have pork and sauerkraut. But one of my nieces that's on the mission field is in on furlough, and they're planning to go to my parents this Saturday. And so rather than trying to add another event for our family to go to, we decided to probably go to that and not have another family gathering here, because, you know, they're probably sick of me anyways, right? I start to feel like I know, you know, our kids get married and they have their families, and I don't want them to feel so stressed. So I love being with them, but I also know they need to do some other things. So anyways, of course, we're going to some friends for New Year's Eve party. So that's always fun. We play games. That's funny. My sample just lost its gem. It just fell right off of it. Must not have pressed that on too good. Okay, you have church services. What type do you have? Like something for New Year's Eve, Linda? All right, so I just touched a few spots here and there. Oh, and I forgot something. Shoot. Let's see if, well, let me get this glued down first, and then I forgot to put this little piece under there. And it's such a cute little addition. I want to definitely add that if I can. All right. Are you sticking good? Because I have to lift this up. Actually, you know what I could do? I'm going to lift this edge up if I can. Yeah, hi, Cindy. You'll be in bed before midnight. You know, it's sort of funny. We've been going to this friend's house for years, and I think we're all getting old, because, you know, it used to be we'd stay till midnight, and now people are like backing out way before midnight. I just need the edge of this, so it shows our age. But I saw on Facebook, Cindy, that you were in Hanover at the arcades, and I don't even know where you were, because I've never heard of that place. The only arcades that I know around here are, no, I won't think of it. The one on out 194. I always have trouble remembering the name of it. Okay, New Year's Eve, you have a Christmas or a church service. That's neat. All right, did I get everything else? Before I commit to this, let me just make sure that I got everything else I wanted to put on here. All right, so we'll get some dimension on this. I really want to know if you love these colors as much as I do. I probably got my leaves down here just a little bit far, so I have to move this down a little bit. But let's add our gems. So our straight gems, I told you at the beginning, or we were talking about stuff that's being retired, and I checked everything, including embellishments. And as far as I can tell, these streak gems are staying in. I'm not sure how long, but I was very happy about that. And look how cool that looks with that earthen toned metallic. Let's do a large one and a small one. They don't have any baby ones, so I'll just do the two there. I still feel like this could be a little, almost think maybe to put a piece across here, just a little strip to make that stand out a little bit more. But I think it's a good guy card. It could go for a girl too, but we always need guy cards, right? Okay, Timeline Arcade. I'll have to check that out. I'm sure my grandsons would love it. All right, so that is it for that project. And I think that's all I have for you tonight. Did some of you, I think, unless you just didn't say anything, thanks, Donna. Unless you just didn't say anything, you might not have been here earlier when I showed the card that I did for the swap. Did you guys all see that? This one with my new fun fold and window sheets in there. Isn't that fun? I don't know. Something about this fold just makes me happy. Folds make me happy, period. But this one just, especially with those little windows in there. And it was all just a need to happen, because it the whole sheet of orange paper or Calypso coral paper just covered up the design too much. So anyways, love this paper so much. I was able to cut it up into lots of little pieces. I had to use several different designs for it, but it worked out good. So all right, ladies. Well, thanks for joining me tonight. I hope that I gave you a few tips and you learned something new or saw something new that you'd like to try, and you were inspired to maybe go stamp a card and send to somebody. So Happy New Year as you plan to celebrate, however you do, and think about the new year and what you want to come of it. I really have been thinking about that, and I just really want to do whatever God is calling me to do, and I want to be open to His calling. You know, when if He wants me to step down from doing something or to do something more, I want to be willing to do that. So I've already committed to teaching Bible school, which is a winter Bible school. It's coming up, starts at the end of this month, and so with teaching Sunday school, it gets a little much, but anyways, I want to be there for my kids as well. And Tasha's expecting in March. I am doing my retreats, and you should have gotten, if you come to retreat, you should have gotten those registrations already. So yeah, stay tuned. Email will be coming out soon about classes and everything happening this month. So all right, thanks for coming by. Happy New Year, everybody. Bye-bye.